Hey everybody, I want to share what we're doing with our side garden today. This is the area right underneath our grape arbor. If you don't know anything about the grape arbor, I'll leave a link up here in the I-bar where you can go back and learn all about that. And this year I'm doing something a little bit different with this garden. First off, last year you didn't see too many updates because the weeds just took everything over. I had wild blackberries, wild muscadines, not my muscadines, just wild ones, and all sorts of things just growing up and crowding out everything. So this year I've done a little more prep. I put down some weed barrier, then I put down my potting mix, and then I put down this mulch. Now, I'm still having a problem with one of our cats wanting to use this area as a bathroom. I was hoping the mulch would be enough of a deterrent, but so far that's not helping. So, as a part of my planting, I am offering up a peace offering. That's this first planting right here. I'm going to put some catnip right here on the corner in hopes that maybe I can keep the cat in this area and not all throughout the rest of the garden. We'll see whether or not that actually works. But throughout the rest of the garden, I've got some shade tolerant or shade loving herbs, things that we've tried to grow in this area before that I think will do well. So starting right here, we have the cat mint or the catnip, and then I've got some sage, some parsley, then there's a blank spot right there I'll tell you about in just a second. Then we have some thyme, some cilantro, and way down at the very end are all but my last 3 seeds for comfrey. Now that area way at the end there is on the south end, and it gets light almost all the day long anyway. So hopefully the comfrey will do fine there. But any of you that have been mentioning in previous videos that you'd really like for me to send you some comfrey seed, say a prayer over that planting, because if it doesn't do well, we won't have any more J&J Acres comfrey seed. Now what about that blank spot in the middle? Well, it gets something kind of special. In my hand here are some garlic chives, and these came from Deep South Homestead down there at Danny and Wanda. So these are going to be the centerpiece and go right in the middle of our little herb garden planting here. So I have sort of cheated, if you will. Many of these seeds don't need to be pre-soaked in water, but I am hoping to get a better germination than I had with my herbs last year. And we're also going to cheat a little bit with the thyme. We're going to go back there to the fish pond or bee waterer, however you like to call it, and take a few clippings off of the thyme that is growing there and which grew all winter. We're going to dip that in some root hormone and see if we can get a couple of those sprigs to establish themselves up here in this garden. Now, you might have also noticed while I was talking that there are a couple of green patches right here off to my side. This oregano is 3 years old. It's perennial here, and it's doing an excellent job. In fact, I had to cut just 2 holes here in the weed barrier so it could keep growing, but underneath that weed barrier is more oregano all throughout this corner. So we'll have oregano in this area as well. Now you might be asking yourself, Jared, even for you, you might get one more frost. What are you going to do? Well, simply all we'll do is take a long stretch of 6mm plastic and drape it over the top of this with a brick on either end if we have a concern for frost on the seedlings. Otherwise, once everything is established, it'll be cold hardy, and almost all of it's perennial going into the season for next winter. So we think everything will be just fine. If you've got any questions, make sure you leave them down below. A special thank to all of our patrons who make projects like these even possible. And thank all of you for taking the time to watch. We'll see you next time. Bye.